fresh meat.
Get bent, weirdo. There are great myriad items that can be found in the labyrinth beneath Tristram. Some are able to tip the scales in favor of the wielder as they battle against the hellspawn that dwell within, while others are nothing more than a burden that lead to death and ruin. Welcome back to the next episode of Diablo 1 Unique Items, everyone. I'm Fars the Assaulted VTuber, and today we're going to be talking about one of the latter items, the Black Razor. Now, normally I don't immediately rag on an item, at least not out of the gate. And while the Split Skull Shield could technically count as ragging, I at least found it to be moderately useful. But this thing, well, we're going to go over its stats and you'll understand why. Now, the Black Razor is a dagger, item quality 1, which is the same as the base weapon, which means you're going to have a very good chance of finding it right out of the gate. Its damage is the same, 1 to 4, but it adds an extra 150% damage. You got your +2 to Vitality, which is always nice, and then finally altered item durability. Its sprite looks almost like somebody married an old school Bowie knife to some kind of weird ritual dagger. Ugly as sin, but it does look cool. I will say I did find this picture in the manual, and I think this actually might be the Black Razor because it does look pretty similar to the sprite. Again, that's pretty cool. Now, if it was only as cool as it looked. As always, we're going to break down each stat and go over this ugly bastard. Now, first on the chopping block is that 150% damage buff. Now, at first glance, this will seem like a major boon. Boosting the Wimpy Dagger, a weapon that should really only be picked up and used in an emergency situation like multiplayer where you need a weapon and need it now, or if its stat bonuses are really good. And most time, not even then. It should transform it into an incredibly vicious little piece of kit, right? Well, no. Again, this stat may sound good. On paper, what you need to take into account is the weapon in question, which is, as stated, a dagger, which normally inflicts only 1 to 4 damage. Now we're going to do a little bit of this basic math here, convert the 150% into a decimal format, which is 1.5, multiply that by the maximum damage, which is 4, which gives us 6. Now if my math is correct, you'll be doing a base damage of 2 to 10 points, not factoring in strength bonuses. This is the same as a longsword, which is in a lot of ways a far more useful weapon. Now don't get me wrong, 2 to 10 points of damage ain't nothing to sneeze at, especially early game. Like 2-3 levels early. But here's the thing, that is a massive damage difference with each swing. I'll give you an example. Your average skeleton only has about 1-2 hit points, okay? Give it a good smack and you'll send it into the red. However, upgrade this thing to a corpse axe, which is the next monster variant up, which has 4 to 7 hit points. This means that depending on how the RNG falls, whereas a good smack to the rack is most of the time going to take care of Mr. Bones, his brother Big Bones is going to take anywhere between 2 to 5 hits. Now this isn't factoring in the undead's resistance to swords, as they deal 50% less or half damage to such targets. So it could actually take even more than a swing or two for a basic bitch skeleton. And if you're fighting demons, like the hidden, it's still mostly going to be the same minus the damage penalty. Special mention does go to the animal types, which take an additional 50%. This includes things like fallen, which surprised the hell out of me, so instead of doing 2 to 10 points of damage, it's going to be more like 4 to 20 points of damage. So it does have that going for it. Alright, +2 to vitality. Nothing really to say here. If you're a warrior, you get 4 hit points. If you're a rogue, you get 3. And if you're a sorcerer, you get 2. It's not great, but it does give you a little bit of extra wiggle room for taking hits. And now we move on to the altered item durability. Arguably its worst stat. Now, some of you will probably go, so what? It hits hard, adds a few extra hit points. Why is this bad? Well, normally a dagger, for all its faults, has a durability of 16. And while it ain't great, it puts on the level of a buckler's durability. Which, again, not great, but it gets the job done. However, the Black Razor only has a durability of 5. 5. This puts it right at the threshold for the durability symbol to rear its ugly head. You know that one when items start to look kind of sketchy? Well, that means you're already dancing a thin red line. Now here's the thing, in Diablo, unlike in Diablo 2, where if an item is broke, it's simply rendered unusable till you fix it, items are permanently destroyed once all the durability is gone. Good example of this is right here. My cloak took too much damage after I got mobbed, pushing into the red, and for the sake of showing you all this mechanic, I engaged another group of enemies and it was destroyed during the fight, removing it from my inventory. Now here's the thing, the chances of durability loss are 1 in 30 on a hit. This means that when you swing, 1 out of every 30 attacks is going to cost you a durability point if it hits. And this can happen twice or even 3 times in a row, which means more frequent returns to town. And this thing is expensive to repair. Here's the thing. You know that meme from Modern Warfare, how switching to your pistol is faster than reloading? This is the only weapon I've ever had to carry a backup for because I was afraid it was going to break in the middle of combat and leave me unable to fight effectively. There's a formula for this. I don't quite understand it. However, I will post Jarlov's guide down below so y'all can take a look at it yourselves. But for what I can tell, you're looking at about 60 gold per durability point, as my first repair cost me 180 for 3 points of durability and 120 for 2 subsequent repairs as I was trying to get more footage. This brings me up to 420 gold. Gold that can be used to buy town portal scrolls, update equipment, and all that crap. And that's 80 short of the weapon's total cost, not to mention the cost of town portal scrolls. Now, how do you best use it? Well, you don't. Look, I want to like this thing, and normally I'd be willing to give an item a chance, and to be fair, I did beat the butcher's ass with this thing and made him look like a chump, and then I treated myself to some cleaver gameplay afterwards. While a warrior can benefit quite a bit from his first 2 stats, given its low durability, cost of maintenance, and admittedly unreliable damage out of a very specific enemy, brings it down to one of those F-tier weapons. Sorcerers and rogues, don't even bother. Do yourself a favor, sell it for the 500 gold and buy yourself some nice gear. Anyways, I've been Farzy. This has been episode 4 of Diablo 1 Unique Items. Peace out.